modern recollections from Amber coming up there and how she came to be at this church. Come and share, Amber.
So good morning. Good morning. So last Sunday, after the service, I spoke with Pastor Ken and Diane, telling them that in addition to the 100th anniversary of Westland Baptist Church, this year it's also the 65th anniversary of Bible Study Fellowship, BSF. So BSF aims to provide a global, non-denominational, and in-depth Bible study with a vision to magnify God and mature His people. But it is more than just a Bible study. For many people, and also including myself, it has played a significant role in our spiritual journey. Pastor Ken then invited me to share this experience. As I reflected, I realized, wow, this is the 10th year of our family's arrival in Canada. So before we moved to Canada, my knowledge of God was quite limited. The education we received from school emphasized on materialism and atheism. And in my family, my beloved late father shared many stories of his own upbringing, from which I learned that my grandparents were elder and deacon in their church. However, despite his Christian background, my father, who had been severely persecuted during the Chinese Cultural Revolution, never taught me about God. I only remembered once he briefly explained the Middle East conflict to me by showing a map in the Bible, but I was not interested then. Instead, I focused on my father's teachings of the power of math, science, and technology. So I studied very hard, particularly in STEM subjects, and excelled in exams and found good jobs, married my dearest husband, Finn, and had children. Everything seemed good, but I felt something was missing, though I couldn't quite pinpoint what it was. Then 1 year after we landed in Canada, that was February 2015, a friend, I don't know whether she's here, Wendy, invited me to join BSF study here at Westland Baptist Church. I came, and Sissy, you are here? So Sissy was my first group leader. So we were studying the life of Moses then, primarily on the books of Numbers, Deuteronomy, and Leviticus. You guys know how hard it would be for me to start with those books. So, dry, boring, tedious, and seemingly pointless. So I often ask questions like, how could God do this or that? Isn't it too harsh? So what's the point of describing these details? So thanks to those BSF group leaders and also other group members, they always smiled at me, tried to explain, and they prayed for me. They prayed that God will open my eyes and open my mind to see. So gradually and slowly, I began to understand. It was still very hard, but I stayed. I stayed with BSF mainly because of the safe, open, and welcoming atmosphere, especially those group leaders like Carmen and Esther Chu. Carmen, yeah. So both of them were my group leaders. They showed love, care, and encouraged me to keep going. even though I couldn't fully understand. And the BSF also helped me to bond well with other group members. Many attend our church and other North Shore churches. And this bondage is in a much deeper level than just mere casual talk. So after a few years of BSF study, just as people prayed for me, my eyes opened. So the small pieces of truth came together, forming larger pictures, and I began to see my own pride and how graciously and patiently God has treated me. So I became a disciple of Jesus. Later, my husband, Fan, also became a follower of Jesus. It is a tremendous blessing for me and for our family. We, husband and wife, we can talk about God, talk about faith, and how to live out faith at home. And so it's such a blessing for us. So a few years ago, I was called to be a BSF group leader. I felt honored and privileged. I also felt inadequate. So I said no initially. So after the third time I was asked, I said yes. And this year is my 4th year as a group leader. Being a leader has given me the opportunity to study the scripture with other group leaders and also to care and bond well with my group members. I just found it both rewarding and joyful. So BSF, Bible Study Fellowship, which began with only 5 women at California, now has over 400,000 members all over the world. So I am incredibly proud to be part of this great ministry, and I am so thankful to God for what He has done to me through BSF. Thank you.